Hello guys, welcome back to Matsuribayashi. Connecting fragments as per usual. Last time we covered the Satoshi situation pretty well. We're almost done with the fragments, dude. Then we have this stuff. I don't know. I think we can do this. But like, we can also just do this into this. Ooh, don't click. into this. And then we have this shit. And by shit, I mean not shit, you know? No disrespect. Shit in an endearing way. But yeah, let's get started. Preview lots. Maybe we'll see Keiichi's dad. And these are the two... Dude, I remember my hints. Keiichi dad said he saw two girls in Sumi Horoboshi when he was shopping at the lot. Shopping for lots. And then he asked like Keiichi about it in Sumi Horoboshi, I think. Or my time. No, it has to be Sumi Horoboshi, the music though. I don't know what to do. My name is Ichiro Maibara, and I am hopelessly lost. Yeah, it's what I was expecting. I came to Hinamizawa on a tour to find a lot for a vacation home. When the realtor finished explaining some details, he told us to take a walk until the departure time. Such beautiful scenery and fresh air. I let my senses guide me, and here I am. Where am I? I still have a little time before the departure, but I am completely lost. This is basically the middle of nowhere, but people actually do live here. If I keep walking, I should run into somebody, then I can ask for directions. Don't worry. The only thing I need to keep in mind is the departure time for the bullet train. But the more time passes, the more I start to think I was being too optimistic about running into somebody. Because I can't find anybody at all. Maybe I'm walking farther and farther away from where people are, in which case I'm in serious trouble. So upon hearing someone's voice, I feel immensely relieved. It sounds like little girls are playing nearby. If it's a place where little kids can play, it must be a safe village. I followed those voices. Wonder why... Like, how can, Ichiro see Hanyu? I thought only if you're, like, in the high stages of Hinamizawa syndrome, which is, like, not possible for him, I think. Maybe it's, the luck of the draw, you know. Upon rounding the wild pampas grass, I can see a beautiful field. Two girls are playing there. They're dancing in the field filled with blooming wild flowers. What I'm seeing is more beautiful than all the great works of art I've ever seen put together. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but this looks holier than any religious painting. Why is it that seeing innocent girls dance around like this makes people feel this way? It's probably because we're sinners. You can't live with pleasure and glory alone. We sin even as we live. That's why we feel awed by the sight of innocence. It reminds us of the time when we were pure. We grow up naturally and we lose innocence as we do. And we admire and adore the children who symbolizes that which we have lost. Definitely look like that. Eh? Sorry. I'm not suspicious. So yeah, Ichiro can see Hanyu. But the horns, dude. Do you not see the horns? Wah ha 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 ha. Okay, dude. No, I'm not. Don't turn me in. I really wasn't staring. I was using this mirror to fix my hair? Huh?
かわかんないのですが、とっても面白いことを言っている気がしますのです。なんというか、血は争えないという気がしますです。
The girls teased me for a while, and when they got tired of doing that, they went back to dancing around. Realizing that whatever I said would backfire, I decided to leave them alone and sat down to watch them play. I wonder how old they are. They seem rather young, but maybe they could be close to Keiichi's age. If we move here, Keiichi might meet them at school. If he would see them at school, then they were girls that lived here. If all the children from Hinamizawa are like them, then even if living a rural life may have some challenges, there's a good reason for us to move here. We're not very good parents. We didn't understand what Keiichi was going through and left him alone until the very end. According to the parenting book I bought, the first few problems are calls for help. It doesn't matter what the action itself is, but the fact that those actions are occurring is a primitive appeal from the child seeking communication. From the child seeking, I don't know why I read that weird. Humans can speak, and that's one of the reasons why we don't notice such signs. We can only hear words through our ears, and we can't sense the signs coming from our son's heart. Keiichi probably thinks it's all his fault. Of course, he's not absent of blame. Humans aren't dogs or cats. We should know what's right and what's wrong. But it's our fault too, as his parents. To let him think that he had to go that far for us to be able to understand him is really pathetic and disappointing of us. If he had understood him and hadn't cornered him, Keiichi wouldn't have done that. So the incidents weren't only Keiichi's fault. Everyone in the Maibara family was to blame. I want to explain that to him, but he's still too young and hot-headed to be able to understand. Right now, the guilt he's feeling is basically crushing him under its weight, and he doesn't even have the will to live. My wife is the same. She's blaming herself for forcing him to study for better grades. She thinks that's why the incidents took place. And I'm no different. I'm blaming myself for not being involved in my son's education. I think that's why the incidents took place. The cross will forever be on our shoulders, even after the injured child accepts our apologies. Yet our cold society would tell us to die under the weight of that cross. Low-key true. Especially in Japan, dude. I feel like maybe it's exaggerated from like stuff I've seen. AKA like, I mean, it's such a common trope in like stories and stuff from like Japanese literature / like movies and shows. You gotta like think there's some truth to it. Like there's like at multiple times I've seen this situation where like one person was drunk driving and horrible idea, injured someone else, maybe even killed someone else, and it's pretty bad. And then just for the rest of their life, people are just graffitiing their doors and shit. Like, I don't know, in Canada, obviously it's looked down upon and, the person deserves to be punished, but like, I feel like in Japan there's like total ostracization for like criminals or whatever, or for people who do like wrong things. Maybe that's just a weird perspective just because obviously I don't know society, but I've consumed so much a way above average amount of Japanese literature where you see like common tropes and you start to understand like lots of people are writing about this, so there should be like a reason why people like to do this, right? Like write about it. But yeah, there's just like, I don't know, man. It always just feels bad. Like maybe I feel like drunk driving is like the number one thing I see, but like just a lot of issues where someone does something wrong and then you just see freaking graffiti all over the door and they have to move from place to place if they get recognized for the crime they did. Even if they're in their new neighborhood, people would do that too. Like people who didn't know them personally during that time. Crazy stuff, dude. Maybe that happens in other countries, but Canada, we're pretty chill. But I guess Canada is kind of a chill country in general, so Maybe it's not like a good example. Anyways, we have to accept our sins and carry our burdens on our shoulders. Maybe we can start a new life here in this village. I thought about all that as I watched the girls dance. Keiichi needs friends like them. Friends like those girls will offer him so much more than the friends who only talked about cram schools and exam results. The girls are playing near a sign that doesn't fit into this open field. It's a sign about lots for sale, and the name of the realtor who brought me here for this tour is written on it. Does that mean we can live even in this beautiful area if we wanted to? One of the girls spoke as if reading my mind.
ここはいい村なのですよ。きっと都会にはなかったものがあるのです。
Yeah, that's right. I think so too.
でもこの村にないものをきっと都会のあなたが持ってきてくれる気がするのです。
Do we have anything?
ありますのですよ。ああ。僕たちはこの村で何百年間もこうしています。
Both. also literally lived in this village for hundreds of years.
そこには誰も訪れず何も起こりませんです。だから何も起きないし。
But she's actually talking figuratively. I think. Isn't that what's good about this place?
何かを変わりたいと思うからこの村に来たのじゃないのですか?
Yeah, you're right about that.
僕たちも新しい人を迎えたい。それは例えるなら水の流れ出ぬ沼の堰を破るようなもの。水は出入りがあるからこそ清水となる。確かにこの村は明治のついこの間まで沼の名前がついた村でしたのです。でもそれが変わりひなみ沢という地名に変わりましたのです。沼の水は流れずよどむ。でも沢の水はよどまない。それにね、あなたたちが教えてくれるのよ。
Good one.
堰は破れるものだ。破るものだってね。
Are they playing riddles with me? I have no idea what they're trying to say. But there's one thing I know. The villagers are waiting for new people to come here, and they want to build a future with those newcomers. I looked at the sign behind the girls one more time, so that I'd remember this place. I've already decided.
引っ越してくるのを待っていますですよ。苗原。
Creepy.
いたいた。お客さん。こんな遠くまで行ったらダメですよ。
Following the vibes. A raspy voice from the distance ended this innocent moment. It's the realtor. I guess he's been looking for me because I didn't return. Sorry about that. I got lost. I apologized while scratching my head. I turned around to look for the girls, but they weren't there anymore. That was wholesome. That was fun. Did fun stuff. Started off fun. This might be just a fun episode. Except I guess the last two are kind of spooky, to be honest. These two kind of spooked me out. Keiichi time, dude. It's Keiichi's appearance. He hasn't been in this arc yet. So many episodes in. This song, though. This is the classic banger.
これが学校なのかよ。
Ooh, are we gonna see the Satoko prank? I remember, dude, on Takashi, he said on his first day he got hit in the head with an eraser full of rocks. Show me. Happy Satoto. Happy everyone. Happy Mion. Chia.
すげえな。さすが田舎だな。
Keiji, don't say stuff like that. The people in this area love coming here. That was my first impression of the Hinamizawa branch stool. No matter how I look at it, it doesn't look like the stool at all. It even has a sign that says Hinamizawa Forestry Service. That's a great point. Principal?
まあ確かに
The legend himself? Martial arts master?
我が校は営林署さんの敷地をお借りしておりますからの。
Said the man they called the principal as he laughed heartily.
学び屋は違っても学校であることは同じです。前原くんがこれまで通われていた学校とはいろいろルールが違うと思いますが、大丈夫ですか？
はい。
I heard all the grades are put in the same classroom at the school. I didn't believe it, but I think it really is true. They're all younger than I am, so I guess it'll be like kindergarten. Though it'll be interesting compared to my previous school where everyone looked the same age.
前原くんが転校してきたら男子の中では最年長に
Bro, we're gonna see Tomita and Okamura? Let the whole gang get here?
ですので、
Probably
自分の
not.
勉強だけでなく下級生たちの模範になるよう示さなければなりません。
Would be dope. I mean, they probably should like show everyone's sprite in the final arc, you know, at least once to say goodbye. Yes, even Rina.
下級生は上級生の悪い癖をすぐに真似します。
Yes, I wanna say bye to everyone, you know.
先生もそこは厳しく注意していますから、前原くんも下級生に悪い影響を与えないよう常に襟を正していてくださいね。
わかりました。努力します。
Keiichi. What she means is that textbooks aren't the only thing you learn from. As a member of the class and also as an older student, you have to be a good example. I know that already. Here it comes. Bonk? No? Oh wait, it's empty. True. After that, Chia-sensei brought us to an empty classroom and showed me where my desk would be. Since we're all still growing, I'm sure our sizes are very different. There's some desks that are way too small for me to even put my legs under, and also some that are just perfect for me. There are approximately 30 desks in here. But since all the different grades are in the same room, I'm sure it's very lively. There's also a wall full of calligraphy and art from different grades. It's all pretty exciting, nothing like my previous school. It reminds me of the days when I truly enjoyed my school life.
父さん、俺気に入ったよ。やっぱり町の学校よりこっちの学校の方がいいや。
I think my son likes it here. You don't say? I want him to go to the school too.
そうですか。沖宮の学校の方が設備もちゃんとしていますし、立派な先生方もたくさんおられますのに。
It's okay, he's already a brainiac. Even while saying that, Chia-sensei looked happy to hear that a new student would be transferring into her class. My father and the teachers went back to the teacher's office to get the transfer process going. In the meantime, I decided to stay in the classroom and look around. I didn't care about the move. I lost the will to live because of what I did. Oh boy. I didn't have any willpower and I couldn't even get out of bed. So when my parents told me about the move, I thought that wouldn't change anything. But after the move, something did change. I want to restart my life. I want to restart my life and become someone I've always wanted to be. Here in Hinamizawa and at this school, I can do that. I'm not going back to who I was. I'll never again think that good grades are the most important thing in this world. I have a feeling that I can learn the things that are really important in life here at this school. I never had the chance to learn them before now. It's almost embarrassing to put into words, but they're extremely valuable things, and if you don't learn them, you won't become a decent adult. The students at the school learned them a long time ago. To them, they're a given. Yet, I have to spend time learning about them even at this age. How to make friends. How to play with friends. To play. Things you can only learn from play. Things like socializing with others, etc. You know, in the past, I criticized Keiichi's, like, I think it was Sumi Horoboshi. I'm like, bro, Keiichi's definition of friendship keeps switching around, you know. He always, I don't know. He's always like, but now I guess you can see why, because he has literally no, it's like his first real experience with quote-unquote friends, and it turns out they're like the freaking jackpot for friendship. I mean, in a way, when they're not killing you, but that's besides the point, right? So yeah, it's much more understandable now, honestly. And then that's why I like connecting the fragments. They give you context for scenes you don't necessarily need, but they like build up on the scenes, on the scenes themselves to give you a clearer picture, which I find pretty fun. Even like the fragment we just did before, we already knew that. We didn't really need this scene at all, but it's better to have when you're putting together all the, you know, it's better to have a clear picture, etc., etc. It seems so easy, but it'll take me a while to learn them. I pushed those things aside and devoted myself to studying. I'm not trying to say studying isn't important, but you shouldn't become blinded by it. If someone says studying and good grades are the most important things in life, he's talking bullshit. So I can restart my life here at this school. Finally, I can become someone I've always wanted to be. I noticed two girls looking at me through the window. It's not me, Rita and Hanyu again. The schoolyard must be a playground for these children because I saw a lot of them playing there earlier. Or is it Satoko? I guess those two noticed me walking around the classroom and became curious. I guess that's natural. I'm a stranger to them. Should I say hello and let them know that I'm starting school next Monday?
ようやく引っ越してきたのです。
Rita.
僕は待ち疲れたのですよ。
No, it is Hanyu. How are people seeing Hanyu? You know, not to question these fun moments, but like, again, isn't she like supposed to be like you can only see her when you have like L5? Like, how are people seeing her? Unless she's getting stronger, dude. After the challenge with Takano, she is powered up temporarily or something. This is Super Saiyan Hanyu. Just can't tell.
でもこれでまた変わってくるのです。
Not complaining, dude. Give me some Hanyu at other people interactions.
だって圭一はサイコロの6なのですから。
That is true.
6ではありますですが、圭一の振るサイコロは1がよく出上がりますです。
He's a 6, but he is unreliable.
はわわわ圭一が悪いわけではありませんのです。全部羽生が悪いのです。お前のせいなのです。
True. Apologize 1,000 times. That'll make it better.
圭一に謝れなのです。
No, don't do it. That was memeing.
はわわわわわわ。
Okay, that sounded a lot like Maria. You know, we know it's Maria's voice actor, but I honestly like... I don't click the dots as hard as I do for some other characters. But that was a lot of Maria.
俺の名前を知ってるのか？
She said my name, didn't she? Did I hear her wrong? I've never met her before.
ニパー転校生なのですか？
よろしくな。
It's always weird. It is a funny thing throughout the, especially in Minagoroshi, when Rita just says like weird shit, And people were like, oh, Rita can be weird sometimes, even though she like saying like really freaking weird. It's always funny to see people just brush off the weird shit she says. I don't know.
前原圭一ってんだ。
You could say it might be like also something because she's the queen, so maybe it makes people trust her more or something. But I don't know.
今度の月曜から来ることになると思うぜ。仲良くしてくれよな。
はあ仲良くしましょうってのです。圭一に古出神社の巫女さんがありがたいお告げなのです。転校初日は教室の扉が鬼門なので入るときは注意なのです。
Rita, you ruined the trap.
あと
The sacred
椅子の
trap.
背中に画鋲、机の中にはカエルのおもちゃまで入ってます。
Toy fraud.
でも何度警告しても圭一は何度でも引っかかるのです。
It's impossible. Even if you know the blueprints, the traps are too elaborate.
月曜日はかわいそうなのです。
だから面白いのだけれど、たまにはそんな運命も打ち破ってみて。
Rita, why can't you just keep your nice and cute voice, you know? Don't leak this out. It's unneeded.
あなたがそれを教えてくれるのよ。あまたの世界の一つで。ね。
See, this shit is so creepy, dude.
は？
Huh? What a freaking weirdo. I'll be reminded of the prophecy made by those two girls next Monday because the actions of a snaggle-toothed girl. I'll realize it too late though. But I like it here. My name is Keiichi Maibara. This is my new beginning, and this time I'm going to enjoy it to the fullest. I've been missing out on so much, but I'm going to learn all of those things here. I'm going to absorb it all. And I'll become someone I've always wanted to become. It may take a very long time, but I'll definitely do it. Clap, clap, clap. Fun stuff. No Satoko, no Mion, no reunion between the lads, but it's alright. Now it might not be as fun. I don't really like... I'm gonna do a quick save because breaking fragments triggers me. But also we only have like 2 options. I guess we should just do the car thing first, because that's... Like, what is this? What is the Revenge of Mio Tatuno? What would that like? Do I have to do this first? Or, like, we don't have a game board set up, I think. Okay, let's do this. This is easy. Grandfather's articles were trampled on. We have proof as clear as the pathogen. Oh, this is right after the meeting where she freaked out at the end. We have proof as clear as the pathogen causing Hinamizawa syndrome. So why can't they believe in its life cycle? Because they never heard of that before? Because they can't imagine it? Because there's no way something so absurd could be true? Don't tell me that. I can't bring myself to care about the limits of those commoners' understanding. Why can't anyone believe the truth of my grandfather's article, which has been proven by the Irie Institute? Why do people continue to believe that humans are a special existence? Humans are simply a species of animal. When various parasites that control their animal host exist, how can people declare parasites that use humans as their hosts don't? Wait, this isn't the problem. Not at all. Because everyone believed my grandfather's article up until now. It isn't why the Ministry of Health and Defense Agency lent me their assistance. Isn't that why? But out of nowhere, they turned cold. In other words, every bit of their help was because Uncle Koizumi had my back. So nobody actually read my grandfather's article? Did they just pretend in order to make Uncle Koizumi happy? What is the meaning of everything I've done up until today? I've thought I had achieved something, but what have I really accomplished? I don't know what's going on, and all I can do is wallow in grief. The more I think about it, the more I no longer understood the meaning of my own life. Didn't Mio Takano devote her life to being useful for her grandfather? Then I haven't done anything for him at all. Count 3, my grandfather, and I go on to count 4. What a crazy thing to say. No. If I let my mind wander, doubt about myself, and my life will slip in. So I'm just trying to fill the gap in my heart with alcohol. Is it that strange to presume the existence of something that can influence human thoughts? It's true that Hinamizawa syndrome isn't the actual cause of ideology. The best it can do is drive people mad. Socialism or capitalism doesn't originate with it. In the era my grandfather was living, you couldn't talk about the world without ideology. The other article that came from that time and age, so some of its inferences may be exaggerated or biased, but that's no reason to deny its foresight. You can't simply say it's crazy and push it aside. Besides, the most important thing they ignored is the fact that Rika Furude, the Queen Carrier, holds the fate of the village in her hands. My grandfather had predicted the importance and danger of the Queen Carrier since beginning his research on Hinamizawa syndrome. But the hypothesis of the infected community collapsing into madness if the Queen Carrier dies is a Pandora box that can't be proven. It can only be confirmed after Rika Furude's death, and if she dies, it'll be too late. But there's no mistake that Rika Furude is the Queen Carrier and a very special existence. It's clear from the various experiments we've performed that she has a special influence on the infected villagers. Her death really could trigger the collapse of the entire village. That's no mistake. My grandfather predicted it. To say all of that sounds like a comic book. It's just too cruel. For them to call the various preparations we've made to protect her a fictional project that was used to tunnel funds. What I'm doing now is simply what my grandfather was going to do. Therefore, insulting my research is the same as insulting my grandfather. According to my grandfather's article, the first thing that needs to be done when researching the syndrome is to protect the Queen Carrier. Yet they ridiculed that more than anything else. The more I think about it, the more their words stick in my memory. I can almost hear their voices, and I can't stop myself from covering my ears. I'm sure the members of the board of the directors think I'm crazy. I was trying to petition for the Irie Institute to not be shut down, but it backfired. The members must think that Hinamizawa syndrome is some kind of joke, and I'm sure they'll push even harder now to put a stop to our research. If that happens, I would have to go back to researching as an individual. In other words, the same as what my grandfather did. There's a limit to what an individual can do. It's doubtful if I would even be able to go back to researching it individually. Once the Irie Institute is disbanded, everyone is obligated to keep it confidential until we die. I signed a contract to that extent. That's not just a simple promise. If I were to break it, a special unit like the Mountain Dogs would come after me to ensure that I keep everything confidential. Even if that doesn't happen, the Irie Institute is to eradicate the syndrome within a few years, and to bury every trace of it, including the results of our research. This isn't the normal process of research and treatment. They want to pretend nothing ever happened to begin with. I wanted to continue and complete my grandfather's work, but what's happening now will result in the complete opposite. I'm actually helping to eliminate my grandfather's hard-earned research from this world. A treatment has been created already. Although Irie is as passionate as I am about developing a cure, he's not particularly interested in any other aspect of our research. I hate to admit it, but he has more experience and talent than I do. I'm sure he'll come up with a plan for eradicating Hinamizawa syndrome within 3 years as requested by the new board of directors. And that board of directors will provide just enough funds to bury the syndrome. Irie will do that happily, just like the time when he disposed of all the research data on test medicine H170 as was requested. All I can do is passively hinder them, just like they did me, while watching the Hinamizawa syndrome get eradicated. And when everything is over, I will finally complete an article which is destined to be destroyed. Should I kill myself with the thoughts of it in my head so I can at least present the article to my grandfather? He won't be happy even if I did that. On the contrary, he'll be disappointed in me for throwing the research he spent half of his life on down the drain. He won't embrace me, I know that for sure. I wanted to reveal Hinamizawa syndrome to the world. I wanted the world to acknowledge my grandfather's masterpiece. I wanted to carve his name in history and promote him to a god. My grandfather waited, believing that they would come, and he must be patiently waiting still, even after entering his eternal sleep. But I ruined it. I wanted him to become a god. I was going to become a god myself too. Then we will be together forever, and I will never have to be alone. If I become a god, God won't test me. There won't be any unhappiness, there won't be a sudden train accident. My grandfather won't go away, nor will Uncle Koizumi. I'll never have to go back to being alone. I am alone. I have no allies. I was just dancing in ecstasy on a stage without anybody watching. I had only just realized that there was no applause, but only ridicule. No, it was doubtful that there's actually anyone in the audience to begin with. My parents died, my grandfather died, and then Uncle Koizumi died. 3 times had God toyed with me with their rolls of the dice. I thought I overcame each of those trials with my own strength, but I didn't. I was protected by a new guardian each time, and this time I have no guardians left to protect me. When I first arrived in Hinamizawa, I had every intention of challenging God and kicking him off of his throne. But now, forget challenging God. I'm just a loser being played with. I suddenly can't find it within myself to care about anything. Because if I cared, I'd be swallowed up by sadness. Soaking my heart in alcohol is all I can do to forget about everything. A luxurious black car abruptly stopped next to me. I became sober immediately, as cars like that remind me of the time when I was captured after escaping the orphanage. Suspicious-looking men in black suits and sunglasses got out of the car. I realized it instantly. They must have been sent by one of my clients. Being involved in the development of biological weapons, being the main person responsible for it, and on top of that being mentally unstable. They obviously don't want me walking around freely. They're going to abduct me, seal me in concrete, and erase my existence. Or so I thought. I expected them to grab me and shove me into the car. But surprisingly, they bowed deeply to me instead. Man in black.
普段はね、今はただの飲んだくれの負け犬よ。
お会いしたい方がいらっしゃいます。どうか私たちに
Oh
ご
my
同
god.
行いただけないでしょうか。
We're gonna meet the person who wants to blow up Hinamizawa. Dude, the plot twist. It's freaking Chia Sensei the whole time.
拒否して
Don't do it to me.
どうせ無理やり連れて行くつもりなんだ。
Dude, it's freaking Oishi. Oishi wants the Sonozakis to die, the whole village to die. So he infiltrated Tokyo and became the lead man in the shadows. Low-key best. Yo, low-key? It's not even that bad of a theory, except for the fact that Oishi gets killed by Takano, so it doesn't really make sense, but still. It's kind of spicy. I'll be killed anyway. I can't make my grandfather's wish come true even if I live. Cynical thoughts like that ran through my head. Then the person in the back seat said,
無理にとは申しません。ですが、きっと三叉のお力になれると思っています。
Chia? Rena's mom? I don't know. The voice isn't ringing any bells. I've never met this young woman before. She must be around my age. She knows about the Erie Institute, so she must be somehow connected to my clients. She's too young to be one herself. I bet a client who doesn't want to expose himself sent her. Even if I live, I can't make my grandfather a god. I can't be a god myself either. Who cares about where a loser like me gets killed anyway? Who is it, though? I made up my mind and got into the back seat. As soon as I got in, the luxurious car smoothly took off. Silence filled the car for a time. They're the ones that invited me. I don't have anything to say myself.
ご無沙汰しております。と言っても、おそらくご存じないでしょうが、高野さんとは小泉先生の奔走の時、すれ違っております。
Yo! Oh, I don't know. I was gonna say, is it the woman that when Takano and Koizumi met and he gave her the briefcase in the very beginning of the arc? The maid girl?
あら、そうでしたの。
I don't think it is, but
覚えていなくて申し訳ないです。
there are so many people at the funeral. I can't recall any of them. But why is that what she's opening with? Does that mean she belongs to the Koizumi faction?
小泉先生は戦後日本復興のオピニオンリーダーの一人として長く活躍されてきました。今日の平和日本を語る上で小泉先生の功績に触れずして説明することは難しいでしょう。戦後の焼け野原から復興するときは我が国の有志たちも一枚岩でしたが、残念ながら今もそうであるとは言えません。平和な時代が進み、焼け野原を知らぬ世代が国の中枢に入り始めるにつれ、当初の高貴な志を知る者は次第に減っていってしまいました。小泉先生はそんな高貴な同志の最後の長老として21世紀へ我が国を導いてくださる大黒柱だったのですが、
Koizumi squad. Squad up.
小泉先生の死後、小泉派は急速に没落。代わって他の派閥が勢力を伸ばし、いろいろと大変なことになっているでしたっけ。
I heard about these sins from Jiro-san. It's really no different from the Sengoku era. Sengoku rants? Question mark. When a no, don't worry. I know about it's the Warring States, dude. Everyone knows about that. I did a history project on it. When a lord or military leader died back then, the struggle to become his successor brought chaos to the nation. This country hasn't changed for hundreds of years.
その通りです。残念ながら平和日本は住みよい国づくりを実践してきましたが、同時に発足当時の高貴な志を忘れさせてもしまいました。現在東京は各派閥が小泉先生の開けた席と利権をめぐって争いが絶えない状態です。
Rolling in their graves.
それとは
I skipped. Sorry, lady.
何の関係が。あなたはそれの最大の被害者ではありませんか。今日までに風向きが突然変わるような体験を十分にされていると思いますね。
It's true that our research began because of Koizumi Sensei's support, and the pressures we face under the anti-Koizumi faction have been tempestuous and cold. Maybe for them, every project that Koizumi Sensei left behind is an eyesore, regardless of what that project is. In other words, that simply means they rejected the research itself, doesn't it? Come to think of it, something like this happened to my grandfather too. Back then, Koizumi brought the authorities from various fields to see him. They talked down to my grandfather despite the praise they'd given earlier. Koizumi Sensei told me that the masterminds were responsible for that.
ひなみ沢症候群の研究はアルファベットプロジェクトで最大のもので、予算、体制その他
プロジェクトの目玉だったと言っても過言ではありません。故にアルファベットの権益を独占したい連中によってあなたの研究はそのスケープゴートにされたのです。
スケープゴート。
決してひなみ沢症候群の研究が否定されたという意味ではないという、彼らにとって重要なのはそのプロジェクトの派閥である内容ではありません。
結局私は見せしめの羊ということなのね。私が何の研究をしていようとどうでもいい。この研究が小泉派のものであったということだけが彼らの関心。
そういうことです。派閥は風向きそのもの。順風な時もあれば逆風となる時もあります。その変わった風向きを取り戻すのは残念ながら容易なことではありません。
私のクライアントたちが敵対的になったのを元に戻すのは容易ではないということ。
そうです。アルファベットプロジェクトは完全に乗っ取られてしまいました。理事は全て変わり、彼らの私欲を肥やすためだけに決定をします。あなたの捨て身の説明など初めから彼らには耳を貸す気もないのです。
I grasped my knees, remembering that humiliating day.
ここで一度話を折ります。
それは研究者としての知的な好奇心から。
あなたに祖父と呼び敬愛していた高野先生との約束。
Bro, who would have? I never would have thought that in the end of the day, unless it changes and Tatano realizes that Tatano was the one actually being like used. I mean, not by these other people, by the remnants of the Koizumi faction. I thought, like, my assumption was she was just using the people who wanted to freaking nuke Hinamizawa for her own satisfactions of becoming a god, which she does technically, but it does actually seem like she was led on, or at least, you know, carrot on a stick by the faction itself. So, you know, not giving them enough credit. You know, good on them for I don't know about manipulating Tatano. It's more like aiming her like a missile. She's the missile that nukes the village. There you go. Well, that's surprising. Koizumi Sensei once told me that this fat could become a hindrance, so I've never told any of my clients about it. How did she find out? If they know that, maybe they know a lot more about us than I think.
どこでそれを知ったんですか？
小泉先生からです。私たちはあなたの敵ではありません。どうかお楽になさってください。私たちはあなたの本当の力になりたくてやってきたのですから。
I don't know who she really is, but I know she's here because she wants something from me. So what is it that she wants? She knows about the relationship between my grandfather and me, so I can't be careless.
ただ、私たちがあなたの力になるには、あなたに本当のことを話していただかなくてはなりません。つまり、腹を割っていただきたいということです。
おっしゃる意味がわかりません。
高野さんがひなみ沢症候群を研究する本当の目的は何ですか？
To have my grandfather's masterpiece of knowledge for what it is, and to have him become a god.
高野先生の研究を世間に認めさせること。あなたの祖父が心を込めて書き上げた論文を踏みつけてないがしろにしたことへの復讐ではありませんか？
Well, you got it half right, but then talking about revenge probably Tatano probably takes that idea. I'm reaching the limit of not letting my surprise show on my face. How much does this woman know about me? In the first place, who is she? How does she know everything I'm thinking? I can't admit that out loud in any case. I have appearances to consider. But while this elegant woman was wearing an angelic smile, she laughed with the devil's seductive whisper several times better at it than I am. Bro, it's hard to do. She's the master of the devil's whisper, so that's a big praise. A simple smile and a devilish grin are completely different. An ordinary smile means goodwill, but a malicious smirk means the complete opposite. This woman can read my deepest thoughts, and whilst doing so, she's testing me to see how honest I can be with her. Whether I can tell her the truth or not isn't the issue here. She's testing me to see if I can trust her enough to confess everything.
もしも私の言っていることが全くの勘違いでしたら、どう
Golgura.
かお許しください。お好き
I skipped the Golgura line, dude. It's a callback.
もしも私の言っていることが全くの勘違いでしたら、どうかお許しください。お好きな駅までお送りさせます。この近くですと5ぐらい駅がいいでしょうか。
There you go.
でももし私の言っていることがあなたの本当の気持ちに少しでも近いのでしたら、私とあなたは力を貸し合える関係になれると思います。どうですか、高野美代さん。
I can't say anything in reply, but I think that simply remaining silent might also be an answer. I want to hear what she wants from me. I've always phrased my objective as some vague idea of turning my grandfather into a god. But she's just taught me that what my true objective is. I want to get revenge for my grandfather's suffering. I want those people to fight over the right to read the article they once trampled on and mocked. I want them to believe, no, to worship every single word my grandfather left behind. That is my true objective. This woman has stated out loud that which I only whispered within myself. She even asked me if she was correct. Is this woman an angel or a devil? If I'm a human, is she an existence above me?
あなたの不幸は自分の目的を具体的に理解していなかったことなのです。だからいつまでも惰性で研究を続けても至れない。ひなみ沢症候群の神秘を探るという抽象的な目的を掲げ、いつまでも達成できず、自らの人生に疑問を抱かざるを得なかったのです。そうでしょ。
She, he is.
そう、それは違う。
It's never a good sign.
あなたの真の目的、いえ、夢はそんな抽象的なものじゃない。思い浮かべることができますか。それはこういう情景。この国の中枢を預かる真の頂点たちがあなたの祖父の論文を読み、その内容に驚きながら一片の疑いもなく信じてくれること。彼らは裏側に足跡が残るその論文をうやうやしく読み、その先見性あふれる研究に敬意を示し、恐れおののく。どう想像できましたかしら。
This is my first time envisioning something like this. And yet, it's been my dream all along.
ひなみ沢症候群という言葉はあなたの祖父が作られたのでしょ。その言葉がこの国の津々浦々にまで響き渡り、あなたの祖父の生み出した言葉が永遠に刻まれて残る。
永遠に刻まれて残る。
そう、それはあなたの祖父が、その偉業が永遠の存在に昇華されるということ。それがあなたが高野美代として生涯を捧げる夢じゃないのかしら。
My grandfather's masterpiece will be remembered forever. Remembered forever.
なのにその偉業を全く理解できない豚たちは あなたのその夢を単なる派閥争いや権益の奪い合いの生贄とし、無残に踏みにじろうとしている。
Hey, another idea. Possibly very memeable, but also like low key good. What if this is the freaking god that gave Takino the coin or whatever? Oh, that you just know. I just remember there's like, she just said, "Poor girl," and then thunderstruck. I'm just saying, thunder matched her voice, dude. Coincidence? She actually a god? She is a god? Question mark?
あなたの祖父の論文をぎゅっと見つけたように。
She's a freaking freaky person, though.
あなたは悔しい。とても悔しい。あなたが一生懸命作った資料を、そう、あなたのおじいちゃんが一生懸命作った論文と同じもの。それを踏みにじり、嘲笑った彼らが許せない。おじいちゃんの異様をバカにした豚どもが許せない。そうでしょ。そうじゃないですか。本当はそう。それを心優しいあなたは人を罵る言葉を知らなくて考え至らなかっただけ。
An indescribable emotion is filling me, making me feel like I'm suffocating. The sensation of the caution and calm, of trust and mistrust are all blending together. My heart is beating fast and my fingertips are shaking. Why am I at peace? Is it because she reminded me of my true dream that I couldn't express with my own words until now? Is it because she made me aware of the anger within myself? Why am I hesitant? Is it because she's reminded me of things I've never told anyone until now? No, those are the things I've never even told myself. She's God, dude. Instincts.
ねえ、ミオさん。もし私の言ったことが間違っていないどころか、大正解なのだって。
I skipped. She talks so exaggerated. I can't tell when. It's why I'm keeping my hands off the keyboard in
どう
general.
なさったのかしら。大具合が悪いのかしら。
Gogra.
なら、もうこれ以上お話に付き合わせるのも悪いですわね。最寄りの駅へ送りましょう。
A small noise leaked pathetically out of my mouth, like a child apologizing for a prank.
何かおっしゃったかしら。
I know she heard me, the woman smiled, trying to make me say it again.
具合悪くないです。
ならよかったです。
私の夢が
I
そうな
skipped.
あなたに何ができるというんですか。
あなたの2つの復讐をお手伝いします。一つはあなたの祖父のための復讐。あなたの祖父の論文を嘲笑った者たちにもう一度うやうやしく手に取らせてやりましょう。彼らが土足で踏みつけたその論文をね。もう一つはあなたと祖父の約束であり心のつながりでもある症候群の研究を派閥争いだけを理由に踏みにじり研究を彼らの権益のためだけに終わらそうとする理事会への復讐。あなたの目の前で資料を踏みにじりあなたの人生さえも踏みにじろうとした豚どもへの復讐。
祖父の論文を手に取らせそれを踏みにじった理事会に復讐する。
こちらも腹を割りますともちろんお手伝いをするのは私たちの利害が一致するからです。小泉先生が日本の未来のために立ち上げられたプロジェクトを先生亡き後に食い物にしようとする輩を放置することはできません。私たちにもっと力があればそのような輩の介入を許しはしないのですが 風向きは変わり、もはやプロジェクトは小泉先生の理想には戻りません。豚どもが私欲を肥やすための豚小屋となり果てました。そのようなプロジェクトをこれ以上放置することはアルファベットプロジェクトの名付け親でもあられる小泉先生も望まれません。プロジェクトは小泉先生の理想を離れた時点で畳まれるべきなのです。
派閥争いの生贄羊を今度は狼にしようというつもりですか？
あなたが今のまま生涯公開できぬ祖父の論文を胸に隠居されることを選ぶおつもりでしたら、無理にとは申しません。
No, I won't let that happen. I don't mind falling to the ground myself, but at least my grandpa's article.
あなたとおじいちゃんの結晶である論文を永遠のものにはしたくないですか？それはだってあなたの念願のはずじゃないのですか？
それが
あなたの本当の夢を叶えるチャンスを私たちがお手伝いします。
On the night I decided I was a loser in life and drowned myself in tears and alcohol after being abandoned by everything, I met someone who could be an angel or a devil. Is this divine salvation or the devil's seduction? I fought with the board of directors regarding the continuation of our research, but that was completely off target. That wasn't my true goal. My objective isn't to continue researching Hinamizawa syndrome. It's to have the world acknowledge my grandfather's research as a masterpiece. Somehow the method for achieving that swapped places with my objective and caused me to misunderstand myself. The purpose of my life isn't to continue my grandfather's research. It's to get revenge and repay them for my grandfather's suffering. That's what this woman is saying. She is promising to make my grandfather's research eternal. She is also promising an opportunity to take revenge against those who laughed at it. When Uncle Koizumi died, I thought God was playing dice with my fate. But my unshakable conviction gathered a power stronger than God's die. So maybe this meeting happened for a reason. Curse you, God, you're testing me again. I will overcome the death of Uncle Koizumi, and I will make my grandfather an eternal existence by taking revenge against the God who tested me. I will, for certain. I will take my revenge. Fade to black. Thunder! Dude, that was a long fragment. There you go. The switch in motivations. Not because of the budget, well, kind of because of the budget cuts and the humiliation, but also like freaking Chia. I'm joking about Chia. I'm gonna wrap it up, dude. You know, I was planning on hitting this one, but we're at the hour mark, you know. I guess next time we'll see what this shit's about. If is this gonna be the complete one, then we're gonna have to do the organization thing or whatever. Because I can, you know, because again, I said I would guess. I can kind of see a path, but like, also like all this cousin stuff. I keep saying cousin. This club stuff. Like, I don't know where I would put that in reference to like, because it feels like there's two timelines. There's a friend timeline, and then there's the timeline following a Takino. So, might be hard to think of, but it should be fun either way. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and next time board game will be set up, question mark. Should be fun. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.